So it won't be super long, but we kind of already got our level, so that's why it won't take as long. But we got SPY here. Kind of look at it from the 4 hour or the daily. It doesn't really matter. As of right now, we already got our levels. So it kind of held. It held this 454 today. So, under this point is where you could potentially look for some possible downside under 454. You see here we got here, 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 right there, right here, right here. So we got plenty of times that it has hit 454 and reacted to this level. So um, then you have to think about how far can this thing go down, right? So how far can it go down? The next level is 452. So it's a possible $2 move, right? So when you're starting to look for possible downside, you want to think about, okay, well, what strategies do I know um that go with this downside sort of what's it called? What's the word I'm looking for? This downside bias that I have, right? So you would be looking for things such as a bearish break and retest, that would look something like this. I'm a visual person, so I gotta show you. It will look something like this right here. Come back and retest, and you're looking to take it down. Or you would look for things such as flag patterns, you know, a bear flag. You have a bearish thesis, so you would be looking for bearish confirmations and bearish setups if we get to this level and under. As long as we're holding this level, I really wouldn't short it. It could be choppy, like it was today. Like a lot of players today, it was some good setups, but it really wasn't the follow through that you kind of see a lot of times. So kind of like I played Shopify earlier, it was a perfect setup, but the market just didn't give it the follow through. And you can kind of see that by SPY here. SPY just was sideways today. So um yeah, yeah, exactly. Mondays are usually pretty choppy. And those Mondays fade me out the most. Because the setups will look so good and getting in them and they, end up chopping around and end up stopping you out. You be up for a little bit, go all the way back down. So Mondays are usually pretty weird. But as far as downside, under 454, upside, if we can start to break 455.5-ish, really 455.8, 455.8, then we could retest this high up here possibly if we get above 455.8. QQQ is pretty simple. So QQQ kind of looks a little bit how Microsoft looked. And Microsoft was a perfect example of, just because you plan out a trade, that doesn't mean it's going to happen right away. So I was talking about that Microsoft play last week, and it really didn't, my alert didn't go off until today. So kind of the same kind of thing. We got areas here where it's kind of been getting up to and kind of rejecting around. Um, so we're looking for QEQ to break above this to kind of play calls, right? So it can be the break and retest. It can be a bull flag pattern above this. You want to use if we know it's going to be bullish above this point, then we want to use our bullish day trading strategies. As far as the downside of this, uh, honestly, I really feel like I feel like it's gonna go up. Um, and I'm kind of looking at it here. I didn't even see this, but I'm kind of looking at it here, and the more I kind of think about it, this thing is it's really looking like an ascending triangle, maybe trying to form here. If we get another retest or two of this and come back down, this will be an ascending triangle on QQQ. So for us to get some downside on QQQ, we would really, first of all, we need to make we need to stop making higher lows if we're going to get some downside. So we really need to break and hold below 388. right? But as long as we're holding 388, I mean, this thing actually it still looks good. As far as the kind of larger time frames go. And even if we look on the daily and we think about, well, how far can it go from here? At the levels this morning, I wouldn't be surprised if we tried to touch 400. Like, I'm not saying we're going to do that this week, but I mean, it's not, we have room to go up. So that's why I tell a lot of people, don't try to call the top and bottom, just react to what you see. Um, People have been trying to call the top for the past 3 weeks and they've been getting slaughtered, right? While it's other people that's just been playing the trend and making good money. So trend is your friend to the end. Yep, for sure. For sure. Um, I was looking through earlier. It's really not a lot of setups. Spy and QQQ probably going to be my main watch for tomorrow. I kind of cycle through here, and when I'm looking for my stocks, I'm looking for the stocks that have a setup or near levels because that gives opportunity. That shows opportunity. Um, Kind of the Dow. I don't really look at the Dow too much, but they are kind of consolidating as well. Apple, I mean, a lot of the same thing. You'll see this on a lot of charts, kind of pulling back a little bit, consolidating. Uh, See something that catches my eye. Yeah, Tesla. So Tesla's one that I had kind of ready to play whenever it happens. So Tesla, you see here, so it's a bull flat pattern or inverse head and shoulders, however you see it. And now we got to push up. Things can't run up forever. We got to pull back. So now it's pulled back and it's formed a bullish flag once again. So we're looking for this thing to kind of break out of here. So you do have a resistance at 240. What is that? Like 244, right around 244, I think. So got to be cautious of that. But if we can get above that point, there is supply up here. But uh this supply, we really wouldn't have to start worrying about it until you get to around 250. So we're still looking at possibly like a $5-6 move from that breakout. And honestly, if we take the length of the pole and see what is the implied move here, I'll even move it down just a little bit. I mean, the length of the pole is saying 268, which if you look right here, look at 268, that was the top of the last run. Crazy. So, um, yeah, just kind of waiting on Tesla. Tesla kind of like just like Microsoft. I mean, we had to wait on Microsoft, waiting on Tesla, and this is what is hard for a lot of people to do is to really sit there and just wait for the trade, right? When I say sit there, I don't mean that you have to sit there and look at your screen all day. You want to utilize alerts, right? So, literally, when I'm not live trading, I'm hardly like looking at the market like that. Like I'm looking at it like the first 45 minutes to an hour. Um, but if I'm not live trading, then after that 45 minutes to an hour, I'm setting my alerts, because I know, I already know where I want to get in at because I did the work the night before to know, okay, what's this level? Where can it go from here? So when you're doing your night work, you are saving yourself time tomorrow because just like this Tesla play, let me kind of show you how it would oops, I didn't mean to mess that up. Show you how it would look here. So if I wasn't, planning on looking at it, but I already know because we're doing the night work here. I know that above this point is where we can really go, right? Risky entries you kind of look for it around here because this is where we break the flag, but a more precise, conservative entry would be around that 244, right here. So knowing this, I could put my alert at like 243.5, right? Because the truth is, Tesla in all in this in here, we don't care about any of this. We're not worried about this thing until it breaks out. So Tesla's not even a watch until it gets up here, to around these levels. So that's why you have to utilize alerts. Um, Got to utilize them alerts, right? Because one thing I hate, I just hate looking at the screen all day. I don't do it. I don't do it, right? So I love to utilize those alerts. Because like I said, we're not worried about Tesla. When it's doing all this, and we let everybody else lose all their money trying to catch those small up and down moves. The strategy that I kind of teach, it's meant to catch the moves like this, how we call it, right? The huge up moves. And when this thing breaks out, we're gonna catch the huge up move again, right? And the great thing about the way that I love to trade is we're looking at this from the daily. A bull flag on the daily means that this thing can't break out 4 days, right? So if it can break out 4 days, what's stopping us from day trading that? There's nothing stopping us from swing trading this or day trading this. It all comes down to what you want to do. But the setups are always found on the larger time frames. Dang, man, it's some gems today, man. People missing out. It's some gems today. All right, so that's Tesla. Like I said, not worried about it at all until it gets up here. So it is what it is with that one. Microsoft. Uh, we kind of talk about this trade today a little bit. Microsoft took this trade. Now this is all time high. So when something's at all time high, it's really tough to give you, a profit target because you never know where the sellers want to step in. Um, So what I like to do is I like to kind of set my targets at whole numbers, but even doing that, like you want to take profit when it's going up for sure because you don't know how long it's gonna go. So simply today, I'm sorry, Microsoft has this spot has been a resistance, right? So this line right here since November 23rd has been resistance. Boom, came all the way down, came all the way down, came all the way down. Today. So all we're looking for with this was a perfect break and retest play. All we're looking for is we see that it was resistance. We want to see this thing break and become a support. Or we want to basically see the buyers be able to push it up, the sellers try to push it down, and them to push it right back up. Right. So if we look to see what happened today, this is that level right here, 379.74. Right. So when it pushed up here, kind of looking at it saying, hey, watch out for Microsoft. Don't know which way it's going to go yet, but it's either going to reject hard or we're going to get a good break and retest play. Let's zoom in a little bit. Let's talk about it real quick. This candle broke out. This candle came back down, right? But on this breakout, it really wasn't even high volume. So you could even probably forecast that you would get some type of retest, right? So when it came back down, don't enter on this candle. Don't enter on this candle. You never enter because something gets to a level. You want to enter because of what something is doing at a level. Never enter because something gets to a level, right? Because this, just like we kind of showed you the past few days, it was getting to the level, hitting it perfectly and coming back down, right? So when this thing dipped back down, you say, okay, well, I'm looking for either the continued rejection or we're looking for buyers to step back in, right? And this was a bit more of a risky break and retest just simply because this wasn't a super, it wasn't a super bullish candle. But if you look at my stop loss right here, I was literally risking like 38 cents. I risked 38 cents and I was aiming to make $1.21, right? So I took this one because it was a bullish candle. The buyers were able to push it back above this level, right? It wasn't super high volume, but none of this was really super high volume until it got here. And this was the push that, you know, that really made most of the profit. Um, so it's the break, the retest. On the retest, you're looking for bullish confirmation, right? If you don't get that bullish candle, you don't want to get in. And usually you want to see a bit more bullish candle than that, a more of a more solid bullish hammer or even a bullish engulfing, things of that nature. But buyers end up stepping in, which you could see here, right? So the stop loss was literally, I used the stop loss as this candle here. Could have also used it as this candle, because this was the retest candle, so your stop loss could have been like a little bit under that candle, but I decided to use this candle because I knew this was the all-time high. So I wanted to give it a little bit more room to work. And plus it's a 36. I think it was at 38 when I had it just then, like a 38 cent stop loss, right? So the name of the game is risk management. You always want to use this tool, long position or short position, because it tells you, does your trade even make sense? Right? Because if I'm expecting this thing, let's say a bullish candle, the candle was bullish all the way and it closed all the way up here. And I know I wanted to get out under a candle. But let's use this candle, for example. Let's say we didn't take this risky entry. If we use this candle as an entry here, and let's say we would have got in somewhere up here, we're expecting it to go to like right at 381. Now our stop loss would be a little bit under this candle. And you look at our risk reward, now it's only a 1.5, right? You want to have at least a 2. Your trade has to not only make sense, but it needs to be one that you can make some money on. Because if you don't, prioritize your risk to reward and prioritize risk management, you're gonna be doing nothing but paying for your losers. So that's why it's important to use that. Hope that makes sense a little bit. Y'all let me know if that makes sense. I'm gonna pull up Shopify. That's one. So this one we took the loss on today. Yep. Okay. Good. Yep. Take a look at Affirm. Yep. Can definitely take a look at Affirm. I was mad with Shop. Yeah, me too. It's like today it was no follow through. Wasn't getting any follow through with any stock today. So I mean it was a tougher day, but I'm glad we used our risk management, because it could have been a lot worse if we didn't manage our risk there. So yeah, it went a little bit after. It ended up going up after. But once it stops us out, we just gotta take the loss. So it's all good. So Shopify here. So Shopify was actually one that was kind of looking for, actually got the first profit target. So the first target that we had here was high of day, right? We got in this candle here at the very end of this candle, coming into this one. And I was aiming for high of day. We ended up coming down a little bit and we ended up getting that. But when we started pushing down, I noticed that it started to form a bit of, at the time it was like a triangle pattern. Initially the stop loss was like, when it was this candle, had a stop loss like under here just to give it a little bit of room. But when I seen this forming, I knew that if it was to get under here, then this is probably what we would see a drop. So I end up moving up the stop loss to 73.14. After the trade kind of started playing out a little bit. And they ended up being the right decision. It looked like it at the time. If we would have kept this original stop loss, we would have never got stopped out. It would have kind of made a new higher day. But hindsight is always 2020. You know. So we ended up getting a push here. But like I said, we just didn't get any follow through. We had volume, we had the pattern, we had the breaking recently, we had volume. I mean, we just didn't get the follow through there. So we ended up getting stopped out, and it happens. We got the first take profit, so that was good. That took away a little bit of the losses, but overall, it was a red trade. Ended up being like it was like an 18%, 19% loss there for the contracts that was held after the first take profit. But I still like it. I'm gonna still be watching this thing because it has so much room, so much potential room to the upside. I mean, it can go to 76. So we still got a lot of room there. That's a nice candle. So probably still gonna be watching that tomorrow. Let's see. Let's see what it's kind of looking like here. I just don't like I don't like this kind of price action here. I like to trade the ones that kind of being consolidated and about to break out. This one's kind of just inching up. And usually when things inch up like that, they fall hard. So I have to see where it opens up at in the morning. You gotta see that in the morning. Coinbase has just been absolutely running. They look pretty decent, but I probably wouldn't trade it right now. It's just so hot. PayPal, nah. Walmart, mm-mm. Target, JPM, Alibaba, Roku. Hmm, I'll leave it alone. I'll leave Roku alone. Dollar General, XOM, nothing. Enphase, back to Spy. So look like Spy and QQQ really is probably gonna be my top watches tomorrow. Um, Spy and QQQ gonna be my top watches. Not a lot of setups that I'm really just liking, to be honest with you. So you never want to force anything. When I'm looking for these setups, I'm looking for things that are near key levels that has a lot of room to the upside or downside, or I'm looking for things that are like in a pattern, right? So sort of like that Tesla, it was in a pattern and near a level. So that is like something that is on my radar. Um, QQQ, it's in a pattern and getting near level. It's on my radar, so um that's kind of what I'm looking for. Looking at a firm here, before I even go into like levels, I do see that this is a supply zone up here. What is that? Getting near a supply zone on the daily. So that's one thing to kind of note. As far as levels, it's at a high point, so you have to kind of go back further to see what levels you would have. You have a gap up here. Mm, I don't know. I don't know. I would have to. I don't know. This definitely was a nice breakout, so it could keep running. I would have to assess that in the morning, see where it's at in the morning. That could be something pretty decent, but it is getting near a supply, so you got to be a little careful on the firm. But has a lot of momentum right now, so it could be a runner. So tomorrow, main watch is gonna be Spy and QQQ. Tesla kind of just want to set alerts on that for 243. 244 is the level that needs to break. Um, let's check out IWM. I didn't look at IWM today. My alert never went off. IWM is still in the pattern. So they tried to break down from the pattern and got pushed back up. So that's a good sign. So IWM is still the exact same plan, right? We're just waiting. We're prepared, plan, execute. We're prepared, plan. We're just waiting to execute. All right. So we're waiting to execute this right here, which is the same setup Look at this. Same type setup that QQQ has. QQ, you said a little bit better on the 1 hour, but same setup, right? Ascending triangle pattern. You have a flat top resistance, and then you have the trend line acting as a support going upward. So um I guess we can add IWM. IWM is kind of a slow mover, so contracts are cheaper, but yeah, like SPY and QQQ gonna be the immediate watches. Not really a whole bunch of great setups. So I'm gonna put these charts in the group chat, but I think that's what I'll be watching tomorrow. Unless we get some kind of news break in the morning or something gaps up, Besides that, I think we're gonna keep it simple tomorrow. Keep it very simple. Prepare, plan, execute. This is where all the money is made. I honestly spend more time finding plays at night than I do trading, which is insane. But that's how it goes. This is where all the money is made. You want to make the money, you got to do the behind the scenes work. So let's see. But yeah, that's all I got. This is recorded, so I'm going to I'm gonna put it on YouTube and send the link in the chat whenever it's done uploading. But that's all I got, man. Spine QQ gonna be the main watch. Side watches, shop, Tesla, IWM. So that's what we got, man. That's what we got. Gonna take it easy. We're gonna be patient, wait for our setups, and then execute on those. That's all we gotta do. But hope y'all have a great night. If y'all got any question or anything, just shoot me a text. Shoot me a text or inbox me, whatever. I'll be up for a few hours, so I got some homework to do. So I'll be up. Just message me if you guys have any questions. I appreciate y'all for hopping on. Y'all have a great night.